Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Hello. Hi, Alchemist here. Welcome to another live session. And this live session is going to be about geometry in the occult world. And what does it mean? What does it mean in the occult? And why do we see it everywhere? And what's the meaning of it? So, first of all, I would like to thank you very much for your support, for watching my content on YouTube and other social media platform. I really appreciate it. All the readings, all the information, all the lives that I have been doing with you guys, and yeah, I really appreciate that. So I just wanted to give you a little thank you, especially that we are at the end of the year. And 2022 is coming up very, very soon, and it's going to be an amazing, amazing year. Hello. I see some people commented on the chat. Lara's World, thank you very much. Thank you. Yes. I'm going to share with you some interesting information. Ina Witch, thank you. Infinite Health, Sylvia, hello. Welcome to the chat. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the chat. So, today, I want to talk about something that is very, very fascinating to me. I'm very passionate about it. I have been very passionate about it for years and years and years. And it is one of the first tools that I used along my first awakening that helped me delve into the occult and the supernatural and to activating my powers and becoming who I really am, the person that I am right now. Hello, Anita. Hi. So this tool is basically geometry. Some people call it geometry. Some other people call it sacred geometry. Now, specifically for sacred geometry, I am going to do another live for that. But before I can do another live for sacred geometry, this live that you're going to watch right now, this live is important. So this live is like a prerequisite to the live, the next live that's going to be about sacred geometry. Sacred geometry fascinated me so much many, many years ago, to the point where I started a whole YouTube channel just to study it, explore it, and share it with everyone around the world. This other channel that I created back in, I don't remember, many years ago, 2016 or 17, it's called Sacred Geometry, and it's full of sacred geometry knowledge. And I was obsessed with it. It was one of my initial tools. It helped me transform. It helped me delve into this world and realize who I am. And many people have different tools that awakens them. And for me, it was sacred geometry. And then tarot came in after. First, it was sacred geometry, and then tarot happened after sacred geometry. But sacred geometry is very popular in the new age spiritual community. A lot of people know about it. A lot of people know what the flower of life is. That was these are very like Metatron cube, like seed of life, fruit of life, many things that I address in this other channel I have. And that channel I created just for myself, and it ended up being quite popular with many people who also love sacred geometry. So I was surprised how many people were watching those videos years ago. Some people are still watching those videos even now, but I'm not active on that channel. I'm not there. I still post some videos there from time to time, but I'm not really there on that channel because that was along my early journey. That was how I was before. I was doing it on the side. I wasn't doing it every day, not like now. This is my daily life. I am who I am now every time, every minute, every hour. I live this, I breathe this. This is who I am. Back in the day, when I was doing sacred geometry just on the side, it wasn't who I really am. I was just exploring it as a hobby. But now, that's why I'm focusing on the Seth Alchemist channel and not the other channel. But you can still go check it out. You're gonna learn so much about sacred geometry. But I'm gonna do another live about sacred geometry. But this is a prerequisite. This live is gonna help you understand the basics of what is the meaning of geometry. Why do we even have it? Why is it in the occult? Why everywhere you go you see symbology and sigils and they're all based on geometry? Why is that? What's the reason for that? Well, Let me share with you. That is because the world is geometric in nature. The world itself is geometric. Geometry is the blueprint of the universe. It is composed, the universe is composed of geometry. It is hard to wrap your head around it, but everything you see is geometrical. It might not seem geometric, but it is geometric. If you go from a very to the quantum level, if you go to the quantum level, if you, for example, you take ice, for example, ice or snow when it falls, and you go and check how the snow is composed and what's the shape, you're going to see that there's sacred geometry in there. There's a hexagon, there's a hexagram. Everything is geometric. When they build a honeycomb, it's geometric. There's a hexagon in there. We have the golden ratio, which I also address in that other channel, the golden ratio and the Fibonacci sequence. And this nature follows these sequences, these geometric sequences that create a beautiful world, that we can see. But it's hard to see with the naked eye. Geometry, in order to see it in the divine, in order to see it in the unseen, you have to kind of look for it. You have to study it, and you're going to find it there. And that's why all of these ancient societies and ancient civilizations that held the wisdom of the universe used geometry. They used it. That's why when you pick a tarot deck, it's full of geometry. That's why alchemy is full of symbology that are geometric. So that's, first of all, I want to put that for you. Geometry is the blueprint of the universe. That's how the universe is created. And geometry is related to math. And a lot of people say the universe is mathematic. Well, it is the same. It's mathematic. It's geometric. It's just a different tool, But geometry is what composes everything you see around you. Hello. I'm going to say, see here, Lara's World. Hi, hello. Thank you for joining the chat. Wolf Magic, hello. 888, hello. Thank you for joining the chat. Melvin, Richard, Tracy, hello. Thank you very much. Thank you, Richard. Thank you. I appreciate it. I understand that not everyone can you guys have your own lives and you have your own things going on. So I really appreciate it when you guys are able to join these lives. It's really I appreciate it. Hi Nea. So for geometry, in this live I'm gonna break things down. I'm gonna dumb it down and then break things down to as simple as possible, because simplicity is the highest form of sophistication. If you can't understand simple things, you're not gonna understand complicated things. And this live, I'm gonna show you very simple forms and what they mean. And the more you understand them, the more you're gonna understand these sigils that are used in the occult and this sacred geometry and why it is used in a certain way and the meaning of it. Sigils, I'm gonna say this before I start. Sigils, by the way, like this hexagram ring that I have here. These are very simple sigils. They're very simple lines, but I believe that they are codes. They are codes that are used for specific things or specific actions or goals. That if you use them, they can enhance that goal, or they can enhance the energy to get there, or the energy that you can use to get there. So remember, it's a tool, but it is very specific. And that's why when I say I have sigils, and I do sigils, and I create sigils, and I have them also in my store, alchemist.com, and I have specific sigils for everything. Sigil for abundance, sigil for alignment, sigil for invoking spirits, sigil for this, sigil for that, because it's for a specific use, because you're not all over the place. You're not lost. You're like, oh, I'm going to use the hexagram and it's going to work for everything. So it's specific and you know what you use it for. It's a code. Just like computers have codes in them, those are the codes of the universe. So I'm going to start with the first very simple form that all of you know, and I printed it for you guys here. So it's circle, okay? Circle. This, you guys know, of course, you know what this is. We're not in kindergarten here. We know what a circle is. But circle is the most basic form of creation. It's the simplest, most basic form of creation. Now, this in 3 dimensions, it's going to look like a sphere. It's like a sphere. And The circle, it represents the feminine energy. When we talk about creation, about divine creation, the feminine aspect of divine creation is circular. It's the circle. That's the divine aspect of creation. Even when you go in galaxies and you see how the planets are, and you see how many things are formed, or how in the mitosis stages, when humans are born, when the cells, when they mix with each other, it's always spherical. It's always a sphere. It's always in the form of a sphere. That's where creation comes from. Eggs that give, for insects and some animals, they get eggs, right? That's where life comes from. It comes from an egg. And what's the shape of an egg? It's circular. It's spherical. Yeah, I'm not here to discuss the minutia. Some of you are gonna say, no, it's an oval. I'm just saying that it's spherical in general. It's a ball. It's a ball. Always creation comes when there is a ball. Eggs of creation. Look at the planets, circular, spherical, and other things that are in nature. That's feminine aspect of creation. Another interesting thing about the circle or the sphere is that almost every shape, every other geometric shape that exists out there can fit inside a sphere. Any. Whereas for other shapes, if you try to fit them into other shapes, they might look weird, or they might look unbalanced, or they might look like they don't belong with each other. But with the sphere, if you put any geometry in there, any geometry, you put it in there, it's going to look perfect. It's going to look like it's meant to be there. So creation, this is creation. So in magic, for sigils, why in witchcraft, in magic, why do you think people call it the transmutation circle? Why is it always a circle? Why is it a transmutation circle? Why it's not a transmutation octagon or pentagon or whatever? Why is it always a circle? Because it's creation. Circle has a boundaries. And when you're putting that sigil inside a circle, or when you put it on the floor when you want to do your ritual, you know that those are the boundaries. If you're going to have your ritual inside those boundaries, that's when the spirit is going to manifest. If it's a spirit, if it's a demon, if it's an entity, if it's an angel, they're going to manifest within those boundaries, because you, the creator of that circle, you said, this is where the manifestation is going to happen. This is where the veil is going to disappear. In this circle, the veil is going to disappear. It's going to become a portal. It's going to become a portal between the physical reality and the spiritual reality. And that's why they're called transmutation circles, because it's creation, because that's how you define the boundaries of what you want to create. So very basic, very minimal, but it is all. It is everything. And that's why these circles are beautiful. And in sacred geometry, the most popular shape out there, the flower of life, is made up of circles. And that's why the whole world is obsessed with that shape. It is made up of circles. It's not made up of squares. It's not made up of triangles. It's made up of circles. And everyone loves that shape because it's the shape that represents creation. So that's the circle. I'm going to move on to a second shape. And here we have the square. What comes after the circle comes the square. And in alchemy, we have squaring the circle. Squaring the circle. So basically, if you look at this, in essence, okay? In essence, this and this are the same thing. It's two different perspectives. They're the same thing. So this is the feminine aspect. This is the masculine aspect. This is the masculine aspect of creation. It's square. Square is what gives creation perspective. Square, this masculine energy, it's what gives creation, it gives it sense. It makes sense out of it, because creation can be oneness, what everyone loves to blah, blah about all the time. Oneness, I'm one with the universe. That oneness that everyone dies to go back to is spherical. That's a circle. But the moment the square comes in place, which is the masculine energy, now you start to give sense to the physical reality. And how? You're going to ask me, but how does a square give sense to the physical reality? Because the square, now, if you see it from a three-dimensional perspective, it's a cube. I'm gonna get to the cube later. In this live, I'm coming to the cube as well. But square is a cube. And when we talk about these lines, we see here, we go from number 1, because circle is just 1, the line is continuous. There's only one line, as you can see here, it's just one line. So we're working with, in numerology, we're working with number 1. Here, we're working with number 4 because we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're already at 4 different elements. These 4 different elements create the physical reality, as in air, fire, water, and earth. Without these elements, you can't create reality. So that's why the square represents the physical reality. It represents the 4 elements. It represents the 4 directions: north, south, east, and west. So now you're starting the 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Now we're starting to define the physical reality. We're starting to give it shape. It's not just one thing anymore. It goes from oneness to more defined. Now we're having a definition. Now we know what this reality is all about. It has a shape, it has a form, it has different sides. A sphere, if you look at a sphere from a 3-dimensional perspective, you don't know which side is the sphere. The sphere is just one, it's one globe, it's one thing. But when you look at a cube have different facets. There's this facet, there's this facet, there's this facet, there's this facet, there's this facet. And that's why we cannot be judgmental about life and about other people and about what people think, because everyone has their own facets. Your facet is different from my facet, and my facet is different from their facet, and everyone have different facets. And that's how life is formed. Without these facets, we're going to all go back to oneness. Without these facets of the cube, we're going to go back to oneness, to all being into the same sphere of oneness of existence. And let me just tell you one thing. This sphere that everyone wants to go back to, because most religions and dogmas tell you that the goal is to go back to here. Even alchemy tells that. And I myself, I'm an alchemist. But since I don't follow dogmas blindly, I use my mind, because I'm not a follower, I'm a creator. This oneness, if it wanted everyone, to be just one, it wouldn't have created this. It would not. It would have stayed here forever and ever. There's a reason why we have this physical reality. There's a reason why. And that's why we should embrace this physical reality. We should embrace it more than the spiritual reality. Now, most people's dream is to go back to oneness. What if you go back to oneness and it's boring as hell? Because there's nothing. It's just so boring. You can't experience any aspect of creation. You're just gonna be there. You're like, I'm part of God, I'm part of creation, and here I am, and that's it. So there's a reason why you're here. It's to explore, to experience, to enjoy, to live, to feel life, to live life, to understand the feelings of life, the emotions of life, what it's like to feel love, to feel passion, to feel sadness, to feel sorrow, to feel anger, to feel calm, to feel peace, to feel war, to feel everything. That's why you're here, So the more you say oneness, 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 you might regret it. You're gonna get back to that oneness and it's gonna be as boring as hell. So I'm speaking from experience. Let me move to the 3rd shape. So here, hello, Akanksha Singh, hello, thank you. Thank you, Richard. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for looking forward to rewatching this. And we're gonna move to the 3rd shape that I have prepared for you here. Actually, I should have I just wanted to show masculine and feminine aspects of creation. But now I'm gonna move on to another simple shape, very simple shape. That is the triangle. And it is one of my favorite shapes, personally, one of my favorite shapes. A triangle. Now I know triangle comes before the square because this is 3. It has 3 sides. 1, 2, 3. This is 4. But I just wanted to show you this because this is in a way the circle, but from a masculine perspective. So we have sphere, cube, circle, square. When you overlap them, they're the same thing. It's just masculine and feminine. And that's why in alchemy they say square in the circle, as in like you're taking creation, that oneness, and making it into a circle, which is give it reality. So spiritual and physical. Now I'm going to move on to number 3, which is the triangle, equilateral triangle. It has 3 sides. Number 3 is the number of mastery in numerology, is the number of what many call in the New Age community, the ascended masters. Now, Jesus died at 33. He accomplished everything in only 3 years. Also, the Empress card in tarot has number 3, is represented by number 3 as well, the Empress card. So if you want to be an empress, you have to be a master. So 3 is a representation of mastery, of when you get to the point where you have created what you want, the empire that you want, and you dominated your creation. Many cultures use number 3 to represent their philosophies. We have the other symbols that I also talk about in my other sacred geometry channel, which I'm going to talk about in the next live. What I'm just mentioning, I'm going to mention them here. We have the triquetra, the triskelion. Triquetra is used to represent, even in Christianity, the Holy Trinity. They call it the Holy Trinity, which is like basically Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Or in Norse mythology, it's used to represent Father, Maiden, Crone. Or or 3. We have 3 elements of existence, such as past, present, future, like mind, body, spirit in alchemy and many other philosophical cultures. So 3 keeps repeating as a number of mastery, as a number of knowledge and wisdom. 3 is the number of knowledge and wisdom. This number is represented by a triangle. Triangle also, what's fascinating about this shape, what's fascinating about the triangle is that it's one of the most stable shapes out there, because we have one base here and we have 2 lines that are equally meeting at the top and one base. So if you want to build something very, very, very stable, use the triangle. And that's why the pyramids are still existing for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and they're still there. All the pyramids of the world, the ones in Egypt, the ones in Mexico, the ones in... all the pyramids are still there because this shape gives you the best structure from an architectural standpoint. And of course, the pyramid is not just a simple triangle. The pyramid is 4 triangles with a square base. But the shape, if you look at it from one face or one side, from the front side, you're going to see it as a triangle. So it's the most stable shape that exists out there, which for me is coherent with mastery, because when you become the master, you become very stable. Your emotions are stable. Your skills are stable. Nothing can shake you up. You know who you are. You know what you're supposed to do. You know your mission. Your friends and family's comments and whatever they believe in is not going to shake you. Why? Because you're the master, and the master is stable. So that's number 3, and number 3 is the triangle. You see the dots that I'm connecting here. See? Very simple, very minimal, but again, without knowing these simple, minimal, basic things, if you don't understand them, you're not going to understand the complicated things. So the triangle, if you notice, for example, in many ancient Greek temples as well, they would have at the top of the temple, they would have it shaped as a triangle like this, going up like this. If you go check on Google, check some photos of ancient temples and see at the top, there's always a triangular shape that's going like this, because ancient civilizations knew the power of the triangle. They knew the power of the triangle and what it really means. So they used it intensively in architecture. It represents mastery. Now we're gonna get into something very interesting, which is, I'm not sure if you're gonna see it, but if this triangle, if we take it here, I hope this is gonna make sense. So I printed here 2 triangles, right? So if we take these triangles here, and if we're gonna overlap them, but I'm not sure if it's gonna show up in the camera. I'm not sure because of the light. Can you see? Well, if it doesn't show properly with the light, I printed it for you anyways. So if we overlap those triangles, we're gonna have a hexagram. So, and that's why we jump from 3 to 6, right? So we have 3, that's why the numbers 3 and 6 and 9, of course, 3, 6, 9, are connected in a very mysterious way. When we get, you're gonna ask me, so why did you do this shape anyways? Why flip the triangle upside down and what's the point? But when you look here, you know that there's something else missing. It feels like something is missing. You don't know if this shape is supposed to be just like this, or if it needs something else. But when I show you this, then it starts making sense. You understand that, oh, now this shape looks more balanced. It looks more complete. It looks more proper. It doesn't look like something is missing on it as when I was showing the triangle alone. That's why the hexagram represents perfect balance and harmony. It represents also divine masculine with the energy of the triangle pointing up, and the divine feminine with the energy pointing down. The triangle pointing down, that's feminine. The triangle that's pointing up is masculine. We also have alchemical elements, like the triangle pointing up is fire, the one pointing down is water. In alchemy, that's how they are represented. Same for air and earth. The one pointing up with a little dash going across here is air, and the one pointing down with a little dash going here is earth. So the 4 elements, and these 4 elements are heavily used in alchemy. They all exist within this symbol, and it is represented by number 6. So it's very balanced, it's very harmonious, and that's why it is also a magical number. That's why it is also used as the seal of Solomon, because it allows you to create a portal between this physical reality and the spiritual reality, or the spirit realm, or the realm of the unseen. When this shape is so sacred that if you use it in your rituals, or just as a sigil, or if you use it to charge whatever tools you have, if you use it in your practice, it's a very powerful shape. It's really, really powerful. In every culture of the world, like if you go to ancient Egypt, if you go to ancient, like in the Indus Valley in India, if you go to like the East, Buddhism, Hinduism, if you go to the Middle East, this shape is everywhere. You see it in temples. Like I myself have been to many temples in the East and in Hindu temples, and I saw this shape there, because a lot of people think of it as the Star of David, because in Israel, people took this star and put it as their logo. But this happened very, very recently. This is what people don't know. This star, which what people call the Star of David, has only become a logo for Israel in in the early 1900s. It's very recent, very, very recent. It's not that old. So it has been, prior to that, it has been used around the world by many cultures. And in the East, in Hinduism, they call it the Satkona. That's what it's called. They use the name Satkona for it, or Shatkona. So you're going to find this shape in many places around the world. It's not only for the Jewish people or people who identify as people from Israel. It's not just that. It has the reputation right now of the Star of David. But, and again, why is it called the Star of David? It's because the Jewish people believe that this shape was on the shield of David, and this shield was given to him by God. And when he used to go to war, this shield protected him. But this shield had this star on it. And then his son Solomon, King Solomon, that I mentioned in many of my videos, also inherited this shape in a ring. This one I'm wearing here, in a ring that Archangel Michael gave him. And this ring allowed him to control demons, and hence the demons of Solomon. So see the origin of this shape? This shape has many origins. Everyone claims that it's theirs, but it belongs to the whole world. This shape has no origin. It's a sacred shape. Anyone can use it. Anyone can wear it. Anyone can do any practice with it. It doesn't belong to one culture or one specific race or just this country or that country. I'm here to tell you the origin of it and that it's a beautiful shape. It's one of my favorite shapes. It is represented by number 6, the number of perfect balance and harmony. Next year, 2022, is number 6. So I would say this shape is the representation of the year 2022, this shape right here. And that's why I like it a lot. I like it a lot. So this is for the hexagram, which is made from 2 equilateral triangles. And I'm going to move on to the next shape, which is also simple. So I'm doing here like very simple numbers. I'm starting with like 1 and then 3 and then 4. And now we're at 6. I'm not doing them in order, but we're doing very simple numbers. And then here, the next shape I'm going to show you is this shape here. So here, what is this shape to you guys look like? What does it look like? Is it familiar? Is it not familiar? What do you guys think it is? Some of you might recognize what it is, but you might not. I don't know, but you probably recognize what it is. It's a common shape. It's called the pentagram, right? Or pentagon. This is actually pentagon, not pentagram. Pentagon. But why am I showing you this? This is 5. If you see the edges, there's 5 edges. But why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this because, give me one second. If I take this shape and I connect the dots, all of the dots of what's inside, then we get the form that many people love in the occult, in the Wiccan tradition, witches, alchemists, mages, people around the world love this shape. And it is also used widely around the world as well, similarly to the hexagram. This is represented by number 6. This is represented by number 5 because it has 5, the pentagon that goes around it has 5 edges. This shape, 5, is the representation of the human being. This shape represents the human being. It represents humanity. When you look at this star, you can see that it looks like a human being. There's a head, and there's the arms here, and then the legs. So it looks like the silhouette of a human being. And that's why a lot of rituals that require using the form of a human being, or if you want to attract a certain person, or if you want to, if your ritual has to do with affecting another person, you can use this. But it can also be used for protection. It can be also used for protection. I know a lot of people in witchcraft use this for protection, the pentagram. Also, it does represent the elements of nature. It does represent the element of nature, but in a very different way than the square. The square is number 4. There's 4 elements. Here there's 5 elements, not just 4. Here there's 5. So if you see there's 5 elements here, there's 1, we have earth, we have water, we have air, we have fire, and the 5th one, the 5th element, reminds me of the movie The Fifth Element, is the one that goes here in the head, which is the human head, and that is the ether. Ether, as in universe, as in ether, as in the other side that we can't see, the spirit realm. When we say eternity, the word eternity, it comes from ether, eternity, because the ether is eternal. It's when you go to space and you see just darkness everywhere. That's ether. Ether is dark. It's not light. As what many people, many probably religious people would tell you that it's light. It's not light. It's dark, because darkness is the foundation of the ether. And then light is just projected into the darkness of the ether, again, to make sense of it, to make it look like a physical reality. Because when you go to space, you see mainly darkness. You don't see light everywhere. 90% of space is dark. So I'm trying to connect as many dots as possible for you to use your mind, because the master uses his or her mind more than anything. So connecting dots will create new neurons in your brain, and those neurons will make you think about the meaning of all of this. So pentagram, it's an amazing shape, and there are no coincidences. Why I think in the US, the Ministry of Defense, I believe it's the Ministry of Defense, why their building is shaped like this. Nothing is random. It's not a coincidence, because they know the power of this shape. They know the power of it. They know it's a building. It's a building that's built as a protection sigil. That means nothing is going to happen to that building. So it's a protection sigil. It's a building in the form of a sigil, in a form of basically they call it the pentagon. You know, many of you might have heard this before, the pentagon. But it's actually, I think it's the Ministry of Defense of the United States of America. And it's built in this shape, so which is very, very interesting. So this shape is really powerful. So here we're going to move on to the next shape. Here, yes, Dolly said in Indian mythology it is widely used. Yeah, the hexagram is widely. It is in Indian mythology. You see it everywhere. You see it in temples. You see it in wall decorations. You see it probably more than if you go to Israel. You see it more in the East than in the Middle East, which is very. So I know the Hindus know this quite a lot. They're very familiar with it. There's the other sigil that's very similar, but it has many triangles pointing up and many triangles pointing down. It's called the Sri Yantra, and it is also used by the Hindus, by a sect of Hindus as well. So I think that shape is more even used by Indian people than even more than the Middle East. And here, Infinite Health said, what's your favorite shape? My favorite shape, I think I mentioned it, it's probably the hexagram. The hexagram is my favorite shape. I love it. I love it a lot. I'm wearing on my ring, Seal of Solomon. I just think there's so much power to this shape. It's so balanced. It's so logical. It has this equilibrium about it, and it reflects who I am. I like to use a lot of logic. I'm skeptical, even though a lot of the occult doesn't make sense and is far from being logical, especially with the paranormal and supernatural stuff. But at the same time, I like to stay balanced, logical, and skeptical. And I like things to make sense most of the time. And that shape represents that balance, that harmony. And it represents love as well. That is the number and the shape of love. If you guys were wondering what's the number of love, it is number 6. And what's the shape of love? It is the hexagram, just in case you were wondering. I'm going to move on to this other shape, which is very similar to, I'm going to show you. This shape here is the one that comes after the pentagon, comes the hexagon. So this is the pentagon, this is the hexagon. And the hexagon, give me 1 second here. If you connect all of the dots of the hexagon, which is actually quite interesting, you get a hexagram, just like here. So basically the hexagram and the hexagon, they're basically the same shape. And this form, what's beautiful about it, can be found in nature, this hexagonal shape. I'm talking about hexagon and hexagram together. It can be found in the honeycombs. When you go to the bees, this is how they build their homes, in nature. And we're talking about pure nature here. Why they build it in this form? Because I just mentioned earlier, it's the most balanced form out there. It's the most balanced, harmonious form. So nature uses this form to manifest itself through the bees, through the snow particles. They're not particles, but when you put a snow, I don't know what to call them. You know, there's a snow thing. When you put it under a microscope, you're gonna see something similar to the hexagram. I kid you not. You're gonna see something similar to this. So nature uses this form, this or this, to manifest itself. And that's why ancient people, ancient civilization knew this. And that's why they built it in their temple, because they knew it. They knew this information. They knew it. It was passed down to them from these the creators or the gods or the mythological gods or whatever you want to call them. These gods that came on earth, they had this knowledge and they passed it down. And that's why in these temples, you see this shape everywhere. It represents creation. And I'm going to make another episode. It's going to be an edited episode where I show where these geometries are found in nature, and especially this form. Actually, even the atoms, when you go to the I think, I'm not sure, but it's either hydrogen or carbon. I'm not sure, either hydrogen or carbon. When you go to the atomic composition, I kid you not, it's a hexagon. It's a hexagon. So our atoms, what builds us, have this in it. And that's why I said in the beginning of this episode that the universe is geometric. Want it or not, we are built out of geometry. That's how we're built. And we might not see it with the naked eye, but it's there. It's there 1,000%. So even on an atomic level, you find hexagons, you find geometry. And that's the proof that the universe is geometric. And that's the proof why using geometry in your practices is very powerful. So, and I'm going to come to the sigils and symbols after I show you these basic shapes. Because again, basic shapes, if you don't get them, you're not going to get the complicated ones. Actually, by knowing these basic shapes, you can create your own sigils and you can create your own thing if you understand how they work, you know. Snowflakes, thank you, Sylvia. Snowflake, thank you, Roaring Folk. Thank you, guys. Snowflakes. It's like I didn't exactly snowflakes. Oh God. Anyway, thanks. Thank you. Sometimes the words just fly off my head. I do speak. I'm a polyglot. I'm multilingual and polyglot. I speak many languages, and I do tend to forget some words sometimes. So I'm gonna show you. So thank you guys. Yeah, the snowflakes, they kind of look like they look exactly like this, and they're beautiful, and they look like this. I'm gonna show you another one here, which is this. Again, I showed you this here, and you guys were like, "Well, you just showed that this. You just showed the hexagon. Why are you showing the hexagon again?" Because I'm gonna show you something else here. So the hexagon, there's more mysteries about the hexagon, more mysteries about it. First mystery is that it holds the hexagram within it. It's used in nature. It represents balance and harmony and beauty. It is represented by number 6. That's why when you see 666 or 6, don't be scared. Religion on purpose demonized and made number 6 evil. So you, the watcher, if you get scared of number 6, you'll get far away from nature. You won't appreciate nature. You're not going to connect the dots. That's why they said 666 is the number of the beast, and they try to make you be scared of it. But if you talk to the Hindus in the East, they're going to tell you it's the opposite. It's the number of love. It's the number of creation. They know it in the East. But in the Middle East, they want to tell you that where these monotheistic religions were created, they want to tell you that 6 is the number of the beast, which is some crazy BS. Just let me tell you about that. It's some crazy BS. 6 is the number of beauty, is the number of beauty. So why am I showing you this here? This is another hexagon, but I'm going to connect the dots in a different way. And guys, connecting the dots is one of my favorite things to do. You learn years of learning, years of reading, years of doing research, and then you start connecting the dots, and then magic happens. Just like here. Connect the dots, we get this. I'm going to connect the dots here in a different way, and you're going to see what I'm going to get here. So, after I connect the dots here, now this is what you get. So you went from getting a hexagram to a cube. How does that make sense? What's going on here? What? But they both have the same boundaries around them. They both have the same boundaries. Well, there's many explanations to this. Explanation number 1 is this boundary which nature uses to manifest itself. It can either manifest this or manifest this. You have 2 different kinds of manifestations if you connect the dots. And if you connect the dots in even more shapes, you can get different shapes. But why did I pick these specific shapes? Because this cube here, when you connect it, when you connect this and it becomes the cube, there's a mystery about the cube. Cube is a very mysterious shape in many, many cultures. And it's very connected to secret societies. Secret societies use the cube quite a lot. And one of the places that have it in plain sight, where the cube is just there. The cube is just there, and millions of people pray to it every day or every year, or I don't know. It's the Islamic religion. You know that in the Islamic religion, when in Islam, when people pray, they are facing a cube, which is called in Mecca. It's called the Kaaba in Mecca. That's what they're facing. They're facing a cube. You're gonna wonder how come? But I thought they pray to God, the same God that the Christians claim, and the same God that the Jewish people claim. How come? But I thought it's God. Well, so it's a cube? Christians too. They pray to God, but in the church, what do you see? You see a cross, all right? So the Christians pray to a cross, and the Muslims pray to a cube. So we're talking about objects, we're talking about statues. They're geometric, but let me show you a mystery about the cross. Yeah, I'm gonna blow your mind. I might not blow your mind. I was mind blown. So if you're not mind blown, I don't care. But I was mind blown when I found this out. I'm gonna show you what the cross is actually. So I'm just drawing it quickly for you guys. Just quickly so you can, so one here, and then we can add another one here. That cube that the Muslims pray to When you take it apart, becomes the cross. So the cross and the cube are the same thing. It's just the cross is flattened. If you take the cross and you flatten it, it becomes this shape, the cross. But they all pray. They claim that they prayed to the same thing. They claim that they pray to the same thing. So they pray to geometric shapes. They pray to geometry because in ancient times they knew that God is geometry. God is geometry. Cube. When you take the cube, when you open it, it becomes a cross. Even the Freemasons society, in their logo, there's a G in the middle. That G stands for God, God, but it also stands for geometry. God is geometry, geometry is God. They're the same thing. The universe is geometric. And even if you try to, quantum physics have proved that. I told you earlier that our atoms are geometric. They're made up of geometry. So we have science that backs that up. You can't even say, no, this is BS. It's not BS. We are geometric. Either you want it or not. So the biggest religions out there, they also pray to geometry in a sense. If you actually another thing about this, and this by the way, this cube that the Muslims pray to, and it's a black cube. It's black because creation comes from darkness, and the color of darkness is black. It's the color of power. It's the color of beauty. When you go around the world, you start seeing this black cube in many, many different places. And these secret societies, especially the Freemasons, they use this black cube quite a lot in their buildings. They use it in their ceremonies. They use it even if you see the movie 2001: Space Odyssey, created by Stanley Kubrick. You're gonna see in that movie when they talk the creation of human beings, it happened with a black. Well, it was a rectangular cube. Sorry, not cylinder. It was a rectangular cube, but it was a black rectangular cube. Go watch that movie, Space Odyssey 2001. It tells you about how creation started on Earth, how it started. And the first thing they show in the movie is these monkeys around a kind of rectangular cube, black cube thing. You will see in the movie. It is known that the director of that movie is most likely to be a Freemason. He also belongs to secret societies, and these secret societies know these things. They know it. So a lot of these elements are hidden in plain sight. The best way to hide something is in plain sight. You want to hide something, put it in front of people. Put it in front of people. Put it in movies. Put it in stories. Put it in books, in fictional books. Embed it in there, and then you hide secrets in plain sight. You know what else is hidden in plain sight? Tarot. When tarot was first created, it was secret knowledge hidden in plain sight. To hide from the Inquisition, tarot was loaded with imagery, so the Inquisitors thought it's just a game. It's just a game of cards, so they wouldn't catch the practitioners of tarot. They wouldn't catch them, and they would say, oh, they're just playing a game. But nowadays, in 2021, 2022, we're using it as a tool of initiation. That's what it's used for. It's the same. Secrets are hidden in plain sight. Use your mind, connect the dots. Don't think everything is random. Don't think all things are just for entertainment and movies are just movies and stories are just stories. That's how knowledgeable people with wisdom pass down the knowledge. So the sheep doesn't get it, because the sheep, when they find stuff like this, they just want to tear it down, because they want to protect their religions. They want to protect their beliefs. They want to just say, no, my God is good. They want to protect it so hard. They want to kill you for it. The sheep wants to stay sheep. So the only way to pass down the wisdom in the middle of this sheep is to hide it in plain sight and to say that it's just a story, that it's just a game of cards, that it's just a joke. and then the sheep will leave you alone. That's how it works. That's how it exactly works. This also black cube is, a lot of people have said, throughout my research, I found out that it's connected to the planet Saturn. Now, this is very interesting. This black cube is connected to Saturn, the planet Saturn. Planet Saturn is, in alchemy, is the 7th planet. It's the planet that represents lead, the metal lead. And usually the goal of the alchemist is transform lead into gold, dark to light. So that's why Saturn, that's why the cube that represents Saturn is black, because when you start working with the materials, the first thing you work with, the prima materia that you work with, is dark. The color of it is black, and you start there and then the goal is to go to the sun, to light, and light is just fire. It doesn't mean light or white. I'm not talking about the color white. I'm talking about what the illumination, right? And they're both equal. It doesn't mean that there's one is better than the other, or one is bad and one is good. So many people say this cube is connected to the planet Saturn. And Saturn, again, in alchemy, as I said, is 7th planet. It represents lead. And NASA released some photos many years ago with their telescopes or telescopes, like huge, telescopes that they have in their bases. And I think I have a video that talks about this. If you go to my video, I'm pretty sure it's the Seal of Solomon video, the Seal of Solomon. Go to the end of the video, and I show what I'm going to talk about right now. I show it there. I show these images. They found out that Saturn, at the top, at the north of Saturn, have these hexagon shapes. It has this hexagon shape, not circle, not spherical, but hexagon, which is very, very weird, because it's only on Saturn. It's not on Mars. It's not on Jupiter. It's on Saturn. And scientists are still wondering, what does that mean? Because they see that, how come there's that hexagon form at the North Pole of Saturn, the north side, or the North Pole, if you will, if you want to call it North Pole, the north. It has this hexagon form. On Earth, we don't have that. If you look at Earth from the top, you just see circle, you see round, you see roundness. But in Saturn, you see a hexagon. So it's very intriguing. It's very intriguing. There are maybe a lot of things that we still don't understand about nature, about how nature is created. The only connection I can make is that we have hexagonal shapes here on Earth, like the honeycomb, like the bees, how they build hexagons. So maybe on Saturn, nature manifests as well, more into this shape, into this hexagon shape. So this hexagon shape is also it's very mysterious. It gives the cube. It's connected to Saturn. It's a very mysterious shape. There's a lot of secret societies that revolve around it, that revolve around this shape. But it's also, let's not forget, it is the same shape that gives you the hexagram. It's the same. It's the same shape. So very, very intriguing. What do you guys think? I don't know if this stuff, I'm passionate about this stuff. This stuff is my passion. I love this stuff. If you guys are also passionate about this, what do you think? What do you think? Do you like to connect the dots? Do you like to kind of dig in and research and see what's in there? Yeah, so Jennifer, hello. Hey, Seth, hi, thank you for joining. Stormy, I love it. Just been reading about all of this. That's great. That's awesome. So no coincidences. You're here in this live. Because the thing is that there is no coincidences, guy. There is no coincidences. It's not just a mystery that these religions pray to a cube or to a hexagon. So what is it really? What is it? What's going on? What is it going on? What's going on? What does that mean? That these gods came from Saturn? That these gods who who created human beings millions of years ago, the first settlers, the Anunnaki, when they arrived on Earth. Does that mean that they actually were from Saturn? That was their planet? What does it really mean? Otherwise, why would these religions pray to this hexagon or this cube or cross? They're all the same thing. To me, they're the same thing. So yeah, like Stormy said, someone thinks I've seen like Saturn is where hell. So here I want to remind you guys, and this is a good comment from Stormy. You're gonna see online a lot of comments, a lot of comments from the internet. Like actually, just one comment just right here just said it, all Antichrist. That's exactly what I was gonna say. NPC, Goy, Kafir, all Antichrist. I was gonna say it's in alignment. I was gonna say it, and someone already said here. You're gonna find a lot of people on the internet, a lot of people like this guy who just joined right now, NPC Goy, who are gonna tell you this is Antichrist, this is devil, this is this. And I still don't understand how religious people don't understand that there are non-religious people out there. Like, I don't believe in your BS. I just don't. Why are you trying to tell me or impose onto my life something you believe in that I obviously don't believe in? If I don't believe in it, why are you telling me this? To me, it doesn't really matter. You tell it to me or you don't tell it to me. I couldn't give a crap. Same way how I don't go to religious channels or sites. I don't go to religious channels or sites, and I don't go there trying to tell them, hey guys, what you believe in is wrong. I don't do that. So these little minuscule, kind of dumb, stupid human beings who come to this channel or to this chat and try to tell me that this is not the religion, well, guess what? I don't believe in that. So it doesn't matter to me. If it's kind of like it's kind of like pouring water in the sand. You know, it's like you take water and you pour in the sand. It doesn't matter. Like, you can tell that to a religious person. You go to a religious person and you can have a debate with them because you're both religious. You're both agreeing on the same thing. Therefore, you can have a constructive debate based on religion. But what I don't understand is why religious people come to occultists like me and to witches and to and spiritual people, and they start telling them things as if they think we believe in the same thing, and I don't get it. Like this is really it's probably one of the most stupid things that wow, like humans don't cease to impress me with their stupidity. Humans don't cease to impress me with their stupidity. It's incredible how stupid they are. It's incredible. And I find it funny still. I really find it so funny. Like talking to me as if I'm a religious person here. Go debate your religion with someone else who's religious. I'm not religious. If you're gonna tell me it's Antichrist, I'm gonna be like, who the heck is this Christ you're talking about? Who is this? I'm not like there's nothing. There's even no basis of conversation. The basis of the conversation doesn't exist. I'm going to discuss tarot with someone who's into tarot. I'm going to discuss the occult with someone who's into the occult. We're going to have a very healthy debate. We're going to talk about the same beliefs. And that's why we have wars around the world. We have wars because everyone wants to say, my thing is better than yours. You're wrong, I'm right. I'm right, you're wrong. At least for me, when I criticize these religions, I say it in my channels, and I know I'm talking to other occultists who are into the same things as I am. I will never in a million years go to a religious person, and my family members are religious, and tell them to their face, what you believe in doesn't exist. I will never do that. My opinions, I share them with the people who have the same opinions. That's it. I don't care what others believe in. But what fascinates me is that when religious people come and start telling me, the occultist, that religion, that it's all antichrist. Oh my god, like this. Oh, I have no comments, guys. I have no comments. I have no comments. I'm trying to explain something here, and anyway. So, anyways, this is in a which. Thank you for the donation. Thank you, I appreciate it. This is hilarious. You know, there's nothing that makes me laugh as hard as when a religious person comes to me and tells me this is all what is it, satanic? Yeah, satanic. They say it's all satanic, and I'm like, satan. So first of all, what the heck do I have to do with Satan? What is it? Where does this word come from? It's all satanic. It's like, you can tell that to another religious person. You can go and tell them that's satanic. I actually researched this word, the word Satan. It comes the origin of word Satan comes from shatan. Shatan. It's Hebrew. And shatan in Hebrew, or probably ancient Hebrew, I'm not sure. The language that was before the Hebrew that exists right now, means obstacle. So basically, Satan simply means obstacle. But Satan it has become a concept. It has become an archetype. Satan has become an archetype, and archetypes are real. They become real when we give them certain like conditions, or when we give them details, when we give them descriptions. So obviously, when religions take an archetype and they give it descriptions and details, it becomes true, and people believe in it. Same even in demonology, a lot of demons are simply archetypes. This is real. Even Baphomet is an archetype, and I'm gonna address this more and more. But when people say this is all satanic, and I'm like, the word Satan, which comes from shatan, means obstacle. So it just means obstacle. So when you say this is satanic, what do you like? That doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't like it doesn't. My brain doesn't even know what to do with it. Like, so go say it to other religious people. You will have a better, healthy, constructive conversation with them than going after witches and occultists and intuitive, gifted people, the awesome people, because those are, to me, that's what I call the awesome people. Going to the awesome people and trying to tell them these things that don't make any sense to us. To us, it doesn't make sense, but to you in your world, to you in your world, it could make sense. Keep it in your world. Don't bring it to this world here. So it's just funny, guys. It's really funny. Stormy, I feel like they have the moral high ground, so have to. Yeah, yes, yeah. It's kind of you know what it is. You know what it is with the goal of religious people in life, in one's reincarnation, is to go around telling other people how they don't have their life right, or how they haven't got it right. That's the goal of religious people, is to go around because that's their goal. That's their purpose. Their purpose is to go around telling others who don't believe the same thing that their life sucks, that they're not good humans or whatever. That's the goal of religious people. Honestly, let's just move on. Let's just move on. Anyway, so ASM, I understand you. I say in Balkany, and there are always religious people who try to criticize me. Just yes, ASM, just you know what? Ignore them. Or I tell these people quite a lot, because a lot of people struggle with this. I just tell them, you won't shut these people up. The first thing you say is the first thing you tell them, I'm not religious. I don't believe in what you believe. Tell them, please leave me in peace because I don't believe in what you believe. That's the first thing you want to put on the table. You put that on the table and then you ignore them and then you leave them. That's it. There's no need to debate anything with these people. It's like telling someone, I like apples, I like bananas. It's like trying to force apples on someone who doesn't like apples. If I don't like apples, why are you forcing apples on me? I like strawberries, I like other fruits. If I don't like an apple, why are you coming and trying to force me to eat an apple which I don't like? It's as simple as that. I'm not gonna force you to eat I like strawberries. I'm not gonna force you to eat strawberries. If you don't like strawberries, you don't like strawberries. That's it. It's very simple, you know. Joyce, please tell us about the geometric forms used to open portals when you read tarot cards. You created them yourself or learned from other sources. How can we learn about them? I created them myself based on these shapes that I showed you here and based on sacred geometry. I have another channel that's called Sacred Geometry. It talks about sacred geometry and the properties of sacred geometry. And I've been studying this for years and years. And I'm going to do in another live, I'm going to talk about sacred geometry and explain exactly what is sacred geometry, what are the sacred geometry shapes that are prominent out there. My sigils, I create them because sacred geometry is my most prominent tool. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. The geometry and numbers make sense to me. I'm the kind of guy who just, when I see numbers and geometry, everything starts making sense. So my sigils, I draw them by myself. In my website, alchemist.com, I have some sigils there, and I channel them. And I'm going to actually show you guys some of those sigils. When I do my rituals, I use those sigils. I use my own sigils. And most of the time, I either channel them on the spot and I draw them by myself, or I will draw them and put them on my store and I will go back and use them from time to time. I'm going to actually, this is a good segue because I'm going to show, I printed some of those sigils to show you guys what kind of sigils I channel and how do I use them in my rituals. Just to show you a little synchronicity here. In the Thoth in the Thoth deck, the back of the cards have this Rosicrucian Society cross, which what I showed earlier, this cross, if you fold it all together, it becomes a cube as well. This is the Rosicrucian Society. This is their logo. It's this cross. And also, if we take the Hermetic Tarot deck, which is right here, the back of the cards, when you check, there's always hexagrams at the back of the cards, as you see here. There's always hexagrams. And if you take cards, like in general, if you see some, for example, I'm trying to see a card that has these symbols, like here, the King of Swords. Look what's at the forehead of the King of Swords. You know, there's a pentacle in there. You know, so tarot is full of this symbology, and you can use tarot cards in your rituals. If you see, for example, a tarot card that has a symbol, a geometric symbol, and you feel like that it resonates with you and you want to use it in your ritual, you can. This is the Fool card, right? And that symbol, as I shared with you earlier, that's air. That's a symbol of air in alchemy. And it's also a triangle with a dash in the middle or at the top. So that's the symbol of air. So the more you learn about these symbols, the more you memorize them. To create them by yourself, you can start channeling. You get yourself into a meditative state and start channeling on a piece of paper with pen. Draw what makes sense to you. In this video, I share with you the meaning of the simple shapes. You can take these shapes and combine them and mix them together, and add your own flavor to it. Whatever you channel from the other side, you can put it in there. Some of the sigils that I channel have dark energy into them. They're strong, they're powerful. For example, if I'm doing a sigil for exorcism to exorcise, I know the sigil's nature is going to be very different from a sigil of abundance, right? I'm going to share with you some of the sigils that I have here that I myself use. These, I have them on selfalchemist.com. You can order them and you can actually get them and print them and use them in your rituals. I do the work for you. They're ready. They're one of a kind. They're not copied from anywhere. Of course, I channel them, and I'm gonna keep populating my store alchemist.com with more and more and more sigils because this is what I love. I actually have a product called Customized Soul Sigil, and I'm actually not as we speak, but in the coming days, I got an order for a very very gifted person, and in this customized soul sigil, I make your own sigil. I channel your own sigil based on your palms, based on your name and your date of birth, and I make you a sigil that's only to you. You're not gonna see it anywhere else around the world. It's gonna be your sigil. It's only for you. You can use it for anything, for protection, for rituals, for like charging your crystals and spiritual tools. You can hang it on your wall and it acts as protection. But I made it customized based on who you are, based on your palms, on your name, on your date of birth, on your I read you and I make the sigil that matches who you are. And then I have that as a product on sciofalchemist.com. I'm actually working on one, and I'm so excited because this person who ordered it is so gifted, and I'm really, really excited for that. So I'm going to show you some of the sigils that I have available on my store right now. This is the sigil that I have here for, I think I showed it in one of my videos, but it's the sigil for protection and manifestation. This is here for protection and manifestation. You can see some of the elements that I shared with you today. If you just joined the live later on, go to the beginning of this video and you will see the meaning of each shape and what I mean. So this is for protection and manifestation. Sometimes I channel some more, they could be either letters from ancient civilizations or drawings or little marks that will intensify the energy of the sigil. And by the way, if you get the sigil, you can add in more things onto it with pen. Take your pen and add more things onto it. The other people you want to protect as well, or the people you want to, for example, you want to use this to manifest more abundance in your life. You can write the names of the people you want this abundance to come to inside here. You write their names. And then around the corners, you can add in, for example, your desires. What do you want here? Do you want money? Do you want whatever it is, like a house, like a partner, like whatever? You can write it at the edges of each of the triangle, and you put your intention there, and you use it in your ritual, and that's how you can use the sigil. Sigil is a tool that will help you intensify, make something stronger. That's what the sigil is for. This is the sigil for protection manifestation. This one is the sigil for abundance. I have it also on my store, sciofalchemist.com. This is to manifest abundance. This is the sigil for abundance. And as you can see here, the representation is that the abundance that you're looking for is an intersection between these two triangles here. This here is the abundance realm. The sphere, the circle represents existence, the universe, the ether, everything as a whole, the oneness. And you're here, you're this triangle. You are this triangle here at the bottom because you're the person in the physical reality. So you're trying to get that abundance. You're trying to kind of take it from this oneness. And how is it going to come to you? Through the triangle that's pointing down. That's the feminine energy it's giving you, because feminine energy is giving. So it's giving you that abundance from top down because you're in the physical reality, and you're going to get that abundance here. So this is when I channel, this is how I think about sigils. I don't just draw them randomly. There's a certain thought process that goes into them. This is the sigil for abundance. I'm going to show you a little bit a more advanced sigil. It's a little bit more advanced. This is the sigil for invoking spirits and demons. This sigil, its nature is different. So I'm going to show you. I offer it in a black background and white background. This is the white background. This is how it looks like. This is the sigil. So if you order this sigil, this is how it's going to look like, because on my website, I don't show the sigils. They only show up to you once you order them. They don't show. This is the sigil for invoking spirits and demons. You are supposed to be the person here in the middle. This is you. This is you. And number 5, the pentagram. And these writings are secret writings. I can't tell you what they are, but these writings combined with this form open up a portal for the spirits to come in. And when you use this, the spirits will come in. Like there's there's no question about it. They will come in when you use this. I offer it into a white background and also into a black background with red. That's how it looks like. So if you purchase it, you get both versions. You get the black background with red, and I think for invocation, definitely use the black background with red because even color matters. So it's gonna be more powerful. But these are the kind of sigils that I offer in selfalchemist.com. Can you draw your own sigils? Absolutely, you can. All you have to do is take paper and a pen and start channeling your own sigils. If you want to know what the shapes mean, again, go to the beginning of this video. I explain every shape, what it means. Earlier, I remember Stormy said she was researching this. Do your research. Try to find out what kind of knowledge have you gathered about these shapes, about these geometric shapes, and channel them into your own sigil. Channel them into your own sigil. If you can do that, if you have the joy to do that, of course, do it by yourself, of course. But I'm offering this because I know some people don't have time. I know some people can't draw. I know some people don't have these skills. So I offer it in case you want that shortcut, that kind of shortcut to be done for you. And that's how sigils can be drawn. Geometry is the basis of the universe, is the foundation of the universe. And it sounds, what's the word for it? Sigils sound not simple. I'm trying to find the word. It sounds very futile, right? Sigils, it sounds futile that you can invoke spirit using a printed shape. What are you talking about? But let me tell you this. Let me tell you one thing, and you guys are gonna probably make the connection. What are logos? Logos that companies use, what are they? Aren't they powerful? Aren't logos of these companies like so for example, for technology, it's Apple, right? For cars, you have you have the Mercedes, you have the BMW. The moment you see that logo there, it tells you right away what it is. It's the whole. For example, again, BMW. If you take the logo of BMW, when you see the logo, you know what it stands for. You know what it is. You're not gonna question what is that. Sigils work in the same way. Otherwise, these companies wouldn't use logos. And here in alchemy, language of the birds, the green language, logos is logos. Logos. What is the logos? Logos, logo, sigil. You see what I'm trying to say? Logos is creation. The logos is the force of creation that creates everything. So these companies know that when they make a logo, then they have creation. The logo means that you're able to create. Sigils kind of work in the same way. They are simple, but again, I mentioned it in the beginning of this video, simplicity is the highest form of sophistication. So that's why everyone wants their own logo. Everyone wants to have their own thing, Before creating this Self Alchemist channel and social media, the first thing that I did was to channel my own logo. That's the first thing I did before I embarked on my journey. That's the first thing that I declared to the universe, this is what I'm gonna be. I made my logo. That's the first thing. So sigils work in the same way. They are logos. They are representations. They are portals. They are forms of expression. They work in the same way. They're part of our lives. They are geometrical. Geometry is the universe. Our composition, the atom's compositions, nature's composition is geometric. And that's why geometry is part of everything. And that's how you see geometry in the occult. Everywhere in the occult you see, because this is ancient knowledge, is secret knowledge. The ancient wise people knew this. They knew it, and they were passing it down. And even Pythagoras was obsessed with geometry. It's not just like that. There was a reason why he was obsessed with geometry, because Pythagoras, Plato, all of these ancient philosophers and great minds, they knew what it was all about. And actually, these people learned everything from ancient Egypt. So every time we dig deeper and deeper, we find that all this knowledge came from ancient Egypt. All of it dates back to ancient Egypt. And then what's in ancient Egypt? The pyramids. How are the pyramids? They're geometrical. So it's like you see how it works. It's all connected. So yes, so that's basically what I have to say for this live session. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat section. And if not, I'm gonna close this live session. But if you have any additional questions, if you have something that you want to ask about in terms of logo or how to use how to use the sigil, for example, how to use this for invocation of spirits, you're gonna basically print. You will have to print it. You will have to print this, and let's say you're gonna do a ritual, and you're gonna intend for the entity you want to invoke. It could be spirits, it could be your ancestors, it could be a demon, it could be any entity you want to invoke. But you're gonna have to have this in the middle of the ritual, in the middle, and you wanna write down on this. It doesn't matter if it doesn't show on the black background. It doesn't matter if you write it here. It's okay. Or if you write it here, it doesn't matter if it shows or doesn't show. Write the name of the entity or the spirit you want to invoke. You want to write it down here. You want to write it down, and it's all about intention. Surround it with your crystals, your tools, your tarot cards, whatever it is. Are you using a pendulum to communicate? Whatever you're going to communicate with this entity, use it while staring at this sigil, while looking at it. And by having your intention, that spirit is going to show up through this sigil when you open the portal. Because this is, if you can see here, this is like a portal. It is formed like a portal. So when you use this, the portal is going to open. For example, let's see, abundance. Let's say you want to use abundance because you want to manifest more money in your life. You want to use abundance. So here, I would also print this. You print it, and you write in the middle of where you want the abundance is coming from. You write it there. You write down there the amount of money you want, or whatever opportunity you're looking for, because abundance can come in opportunity form. Maybe it's a job opportunity. Maybe it's an opportunity to travel. Maybe it's an opportunity to meet a new person. That's also abundance. It's not always financial. You write it down there, and you also do your ritual. Or for this, it's just during the ritual. For this, you can use it for ritual if you want to intensify your abundance. If not, write the amount of money you want in there, or whatever abundance you want. And you want to take this sigil, fold it, and keep it in your wallet. Keep it in your wallet, in your purse, in your bag, in the drawer of your closet. Keep it somewhere where you are most of the time. You want that your energy to be there all the time. I would say keep it in your wallet. Keep it in your wallet. If you have one, if not, in a bag that you carry every day, and keep that with you all the time. And this sigil is gonna enhance attracting abundance. Wherever you go, these opportunities are gonna become clearer to you for them to come, for money or for whatever it is, So that's how you would use it. So yeah, I'm gonna make more videos on this channel about sigils and how to use them and how to manifest with them. It is something I adore, and it's my passion, and I love it a lot. And it's a great tool. It's not very popular for some reason. I know you can get a lot of sigils online for free. They're very whack. They don't look good. They look like they're generated by some AI, by some artificial intelligence from some website. I would recommend you to either draw your own or get one from someone who knows what they're doing. If you know someone who they know what they're drawing, what they're doing, what they're channeling, then if you trust them, then that's perfect. So yes, in which Sif, what shape do you recommend for protection ritual spells? Absolutely the hexagram, number one, my favorite one. You want to use a shape that, you know, maybe you can't afford a sigil and you don't know what to do, draw a hexagram. Draw a hexagram, work with the hexagram. It's one of the most amazing, simple yet harmonious and balanced shape you can work with. Anyone can draw a hexagram. I assume. Anyone can draw a hexagram easily on a piece of paper. That's my favorite shape. That's number one. Number two, it would be the pentagram for sure. The pentagram. In the realm of sacred geometry, that's gonna be another live, and I'm gonna tell you what is my favorite sacred geometry shape. But I'm gonna say it in another live. But that's in case if you want a quick fix. Infinite health, thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you. You're very welcome. You're very welcome for the info, for being here. Yes. Nightmare is here. It's okay. You can rewatch. You can rewatch the live. It's gonna be there always on the channel. It's gonna be always on the channel. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I hope this was helpful. Have an amazing time wherever you are. Today is the 29th. I guess if I'm not sure if I'm gonna do another live in this year, but if I don't do it this year, I wish you an amazing new year. 2022, it's gonna be an amazing year, full of mastery, knowing who you are, embracing your darkness, abundance, right people, right dimension, right everything, maximum alignment, because alignment, once we are aligned, I wish you that from the bottom of my heart. You guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. And if I don't see you this year, I will see you in the next year. Thank you. Have an amazing time.